Milwaukee Open. Beautiful Bradford Beach on the shores of Lake Michigan. And let's get ready. They are this big crowd that is gathered in a party atmosphere and getting set for our championship final. Everybody rise for it. Our referee, who's already risen, he's up. Jimmy Leonard will be working this final along with George Carey, who will be the umpire down. And I'll tell you what, George usually brings the bad weather with him. He did for a while, but it is beautiful here for the championship. I'm Bill McDonald along with St. John Smith, who's alongside, and down court side is Roger Clark. Let's get ready. Here we go. Karch Kirai, Kent Steffes looking for number 12 in a row, as now they try to add on to their record, and they have Menges and Lee in sight. They would tie them next week if they could get to the final and win it in Cleveland after taking care of business here. They're checking the ball. They'll be going up against, of course, Eric Wurts out of Corona Del Mar and Larry Mear from San Clemente, who you just saw beat Smith and Stoklos. Larry Mear. There are the pertinent numbers again, 6'2", 195, 32, and St. John, as we get going, the age-old question, what do they have to do to beat the Kings right now?
Well, the first thing they're going to have to do is serve tough. That wasn't a very tough serve by Larry.
So Karch just pounds it home.
Yeah, that was just past that hit. Normal for them. They're going to really have to, I think it's going to take a while for them to get warmed up because they sat down, they've played a few matches, they probably cooled off. Now they're going to get, it's going to take a few plays. Same for Kent and Karch probably, too.
At 6'4", Kent Steffes, who have been sitting for quite a while, going through that winner's bracket. Works the dig by Kent. Now the squirrel up again. Back set by Mear. Another dig. Steffes. Blocked. What a rally to start things off.
That's unbelievable. You don't expect Larry Mear to be able to block one of the best hitters on the beach. But Larry, I'll tell you, he gets close to the net. That's a great dig by the Rocket Squirrel there. Unbelievable. But Larry just gets his hands over the net enough, and Ken hits it low to the net, and he blocks him.
We were mentioning during the semi, this has been a great tournament for Mear at the net blocking. And then, of course, Wurts, sensational defense. He has been quick, but you're not going to get that hitting high and hitting cross.
They're both great defensive players, and Eric is a really good blocker. You don't expect it because he's so short, but I'll tell you, he jumps as high as anybody out there.
6 foot is Eric Wurts, and there you see the numbers on Karch Kirai. No score. Perfect pass. And Wurts, a little touch, and right over Kent Steffes. So nice touch by Eric Wurts off the set by Larry Mear. Side out.
Yeah, that's that ball control. Eric, he has the sharpest cuts of anybody I know. Went up and just left it back, just out of Kent's reach.
And we will see that cut shot of Larry Mears a little later on, obviously, too. He worked that to perfection against St. John and Randy. Steffes up. Chance for a point. Mear on 2. Got it. Smart play, Larry Mear.
It's unbelievable. Only these guys could do that kind of a play. Normally, you want to pass that hit for ball control, but Larry has such ball control. Karch started to go to the angle, and Larry put it down the line.
They hurt you on 2 a couple times, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did.
Here's Karch going up. Big time hit by Karch Kirai. So he's got his leaping shoes on early, and it'll be side out.
Yeah, Eric's going to have to make a commitment one way or the other. And, of course, if he takes the line, Karch can bang that cross court. I think Karch's favorite hit is the cross court, so he might think about blocking the cross court.
Kent Steffes to serve. Mear got most of the balls during the semifinal, and that one's off of Karch.
Larry, I don't know how he does it, but he hacks that ball around. He hits the block. He puts the ball away one way or the other.
They're the Squirrels' numbers. Only 6 foot. As I mentioned before, small for the standards out here. Big serve. Bump set by Karch. And off of the block of Larry Mear. And that will be a side out. 3 of these players out there over 30 years of age. Of course, the young gun in this group, Kent Steffes.
Now, Larry and Eric have got their hands on just about every block so far.
Karch service error as he goes for it.
Yeah, I think that his first couple serves were kind of easy, and I think he wanted to force an error on pass, so tried to hit it a little bit harder that time, and it didn't work for him. And the wind's not a big factor out here. It's blowing just about straight across. In our game, there was a little bit of a side advantage on the side that Karch and Ken are on, but right now I'm not sure.
As it's blowing right off of Lake Michigan. Kent Steffes, big pound cross court. You have been in a situation that Karch and Ken are in right now so many times during your career, sitting and waiting, rolling through the winner's bracket. How long during a game does it really take to get your game face on and get rolling a bit?
A few points, 3 or 4 points. You get warmed up quicker when you give up a couple points. It really forces you to get moving.
Gets your attention. Yeah. There's Larry Mear, as you said, how he puts it away. It varies, but right there, the hit down the middle. They lead 1-0, they being Eric Wurts and Larry Mear. There's Wurts out of Corona Lamar.
Eric has had the toughest serve this game so far. Let's see if he can keep it up.
The workhorse, and it hits the line. 8 for Eric Wurts. It's 2-0.
He took just a little bit off that serve and just hit it right on the line. I don't think anyone could pass that ball. Unbelievable. Just hit the outside of the line.
Kent taking a look, just hoping. 2-0. Going right back there, but Steffes moves over. The hit. Larry was there.
It wasn't a great pass, and these guys didn't go up to the net and block. But, Karch is going to get that ball near the net, and Kent can hit that ball from just about anywhere, so he put it away.
2-0. We're going to 15, and, of course, the clock is running. We started at 10. Little tight that time, and Steffes says take it right back. So that time Mear said Eric a little tight, and let's see if Eric is hurt.
That ball came back so hard off the block, I think it hit him in the hand, and we'll see if we can see it on the replay here. Kent takes the line away from Eric. He really pulls it back towards the line, and it comes back and hit his hand. He blocked it right back into his hand.
And that's going to jam your fingers a bit. Now Wurts, let's hope that this does not deter from this final. And they're going right to Eric to see how he can hit. And he does, and he hits it strong, and he hits it just in.
That was the exact same hit as before, but Kent went and blocked the angle. I'm surprised they didn't serve Larry just to check out Eric's hand, because Eric sets the ball with his hands. See how he would fare after that.
Defensively, what do you try to do when you're going up against Larry and Eric? Who do you try to work in that sense?
I don't think Karch and Ken have decided who they want to work at, although they've served the last few balls to Eric. We were trying to go to Larry because he isn't as powerful, but Larry's got a lot of great shots.
A lot of times you just wait till the game. You've often said that you go in with a bit of a game plan, but then you just kind of see how the flow goes.
Yeah, you got to feel out the players, see who's doing what, who feels what, and then play it from there.
2-1 our scores. 1 serving 2 as Kent Steffes is back. We're in Milwaukee. Good pass. And the quick bump. No. Wurts got tangled up a bit in the line on the near side, and he hit that one wide, and we're tied at 2.
Yeah, with Ken and Karch up there blocking, it's going to force these guys to make great shots. And Eric went for the line shot and just missed it.
Tied at 2 in the late afternoon at Bradford Beach. Next week, Cleveland, Ohio, our stop. So all of you in Cleveland, get ready. We'll be there. On to Larry. Oh, just a little touch with the back of the hand, and that goes over. Back with more in a moment. We're tied at 2. Eric Wurts serving. And Karch Kirai. That one's off a bit, but he pounds it into the back corner. So good control by Karch as that set by Kent floated a little bit on him.
Well, that was a great serve by Eric. It forced a bad pass by Karch. Kent didn't get it all the way in the net. And Eric took off for the line shot, and Karch just hit it deep angle.
We'll see how the stamina of Mear and Wurts, of course, holds up throughout this contest. But Wurts in such sensational shape, and we were talking about the conditioning program that Mear has been on to get himself in the best shape of his life, and it is really paying dividends for him. There's Larry, that toe, back to 100%.
They're not really having success going either way. Larry's been putting the ball away. Eric's been doing pretty well, so They're gonna mix it up, I think, throughout this game.
Working Kent Steffes. Kent up, off the block, and it will be a side out.
Eric stayed on the line, tried to block Kent fine. I think he realizes Kent likes to hit the line a lot, but he just didn't get over far enough. It just hit his elbow on his left arm.
We talked about that quite a bit last week, if you were with us. Kent Steffes likes to work that line, be it over the top, over the block, or pounding down. Might be able to dig him going cross court. Eric lost it for a moment. Larry, good dig by Karch, but Kent groveling in the sand, can't get to it.
Yeah, they had a little mix-up on the pass, and then Eric didn't know where Larry was going to go to hit the ball.
Just where do you want to go? And all of a sudden, anywhere will do, and it worked out fine for them. It's 2-2 here in the final.
Now, Kent likes to hit the line, but he can hit that ball anywhere. I mean, he can hammer the cross court, too, but I think his preference is the line.
And there it is, cross court, dug that time by the squirrel. But Kent says, I'm going to put it right back at you. And that time he goes down into the deep corner down the line. And it's a side out again, so we're stuck here at 2-2.
Yeah, whenever you can catch another team off guard and hit it over on two, you got to do it. And here it is. Kent's ready. Karch puts it right up for him, and he goes back the other way.
And the key there is Karch makes the read and makes sure the set is right there. Tough pass. And that time, once again, off the block. So a side-out streak going on here in the finals. The crowd waits and anticipates, wants to get off their hands here a little bit, as they did many times during our very entertaining semifinal. We hope you were with us for that. There's part of this big crowd. We would say sold out, but everybody's in here for nothing. So there was nothing to sell. Nobody. Off! So that time, the fake block. Eric goes back trying to dig, but
that's going to be tough. Kent hasn't shot the ball yet. He's been swinging at the ball every time. I think until Kent starts shooting, he can't back off the net like that.
That time he gave it the heat and was able to side out. Kent Steffes says he's dedicating this tournament to his buddy Bill back in Southern California. Oh! No. Touch the top of the net.
Mear and Wurts.
I don't think either one of them are ready for the short serve. That would have been a great serve.
Yeah, I know. And Eric was quickly looking up, going up. That hit it, didn't it? Didn't want to deal with it. Eric Wurts back. And an error there.
Now, I'm not sure if that's a sign of tiredness or if he was just going for, a tough serve. They shouldn't really be that tired. They played the semis, the finals of the winners, and then one other match. But this is their fourth.
I think the weather cooperated for them, too. It wasn't...
Yeah, the rain helped them out.
Eric said he hates playing in the rain. A little warmer for him now, and that's down. It has not been hot. Yesterday was a little warm, but very breezy, although sunny all day.
Yeah, today's been a good day for volleyball outside of the rain we had. The clouds are over right now, so it's not too bad.
And even when it was raining, except for about a 5 or 10 minute period when it was coming down pretty good, it was a bit of a drizzle. Our side-out streak is now at 12 as Larry Mear looks around. Where is it? It's down in the sand for side-out.
You don't see that very often from this team on a side-out play where it's hit over on two. I mean, that's something that Randy does quite a bit, but not many other teams. That's interesting.
That's a low set, and it's going to be driven wide. So there was trouble from the start there. The set was low, and Eric Wurts could not get it in play. We're going to take a break. It's 3-2, Karai and Steffes as they look to extend the streak. This thing getting the crowd going as only Marvin can. I guess he's off duty. He better be. Doing the wild thing, Marvin Hall.
I think Marvin's always off duty.
Oh, ouch! In a big bad way.
He did well today. He kept the game moving. The AVP wants to try to keep the game moving a little bit faster, and all the referees, particularly him, did a great job at it.
3-2 as we are back at our final. Steffes. That was a good pass by Wurts. And a nice touch over Karch.
We've seen that before, haven't we? That little cutback just over the block.
Very, very early in this contest. And we'll probably see it again, as they
You
say.
really have to make a big commitment if you're Kent in the backcourt to get that ball. You've got to guess and you've got to go. You can't stop.
Center court final, not familiar territory for Wurts and Mear, although they've been there. Kent, who knows this arena very well, taps it over Larry Mear.
On that close set right there, you're going to find that Kent's going to have an easier time actually hitting it over Larry Mear. Now, might not have had as easy of a time with Eric, because Eric gets much higher. Larry's going to be a more effective blocker on a set that's off the net where the hitter brings it down close to the net.
Karts bangs away. That time the block, but it's down on Karts and Kent's side, so a good side out. So some heat that time out of Eric.
Yeah, I think he just powered it through Kent that time. Kent, his left arm came back off the net just a little bit, and it was just enough for Eric to squeeze it inside of him.
Larry Mear from San Clemente. The dig, but Eric just couldn't get it going his way as he twirled, but it was already over his head, and beside out Kent Steffes.
Larry wants to kill himself. He was in the right spot. He just missed the dig.
When you read him like a comic book like that, you just can't control it. That's when you get frustrated. Now Kent Steffes will serve. 3-2 to score. And using a bit of the equipment, but it pays off at the end. Larry Mear, and once again we have another side out. Both teams siding up pretty well here.
Slicing and dicing. Again, Eric and Larry, they don't know, Kent and Karts don't know who to serve. They're serving both of them.
These teams met in the winner's bracket final in
Fort Worth.
Well, they met here today in the winner's bracket final, too.
Yeah.
And it was a wax job by Kirai and Steffes on Larry Mear and Eric Wurts. That was a very easy contest for them. So we'll see if that plays on the minds.
Well, I'll tell you what, just because the score isn't close doesn't mean it was easy. It just means Kent and Karts were probably playing great.
Block, but out. You want to talk about not having easy games. We mentioned it a couple of times, but Kirai and Steffes escaped going into that contenders bracket a couple of times, and I want to talk about that right here as we look at the service receptions, and they're working Wurts and Steffes, as you can see, and again, those teams like to work Kent Steffes. Karts just doesn't see the serve. And that time to block it down, Eric Wurts, and we're tied at 3.
I'm telling you, for a little guy, he gets way up and over the net, and he reaches into the cross court that time and stuffs Kent. Fantastic block.
Eric says he's been playing well for the last year or so, but not everything has come together in the partnership with Mear, sticking with them this season. And now the chemistry is working perfectly, both very versatile players. And they battle through those little injuries.
Kent reached a little higher on that last hit and just caught the top of Eric's hand. I mentioned
Steffes and Kirai. They beat Vrabolovich and Vandeweghe in a game they really should have lost. They were behind 10-8 with 10 seconds to go on the clock, and somehow Herb and Vandeweghe let it get away, and then they won in overtime, Kirai and Steffes. Then Whitmarsh and Ludes had him with under 10 seconds to go by a point, and they even should have lost in overtime when Kent hit the line twice, and then Whitmarsh blocked one, but somehow Karts got one up. They've been dodging not bullets, they say, but smart bombs. That's their line for the week.
Great dig.
Great dig by Larry. And got it away.
You know, this is something different about beach volleyball that you don't see in the indoor game. They allow you a little more freedom on the dig, and if you'll notice, Larry actually doubles this dig. On a hard hit ball, you can hit the ball twice, as long as you don't make 2 separate attempts. And Larry made an incredible dig and put it away down the line.
As the good defense on the driven ball. So it is 4-3, and the lead shifts now. Eric Wurts with the lead. And on 2. So we've seen that a couple of times. That's really all Kent could do with that one, and he did the smart thing.
I think Kent and Karts are getting bored. That's why they're hitting it over on 2 now.
Just looking somehow to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
They're bored down by a point, too.
Well, they better not get too bored this game, because Eric and Larry are still playing pretty good volleyball.
You
get that feeling sometimes when you're coming up and you haven't seen the final in a while, and you get on that roll and the confidence starts building. Karch serving. Once again, it's Larry Mear.
I saw that shot a few times in our game. That's a tough shot to get deep into the corner. You know, you're going for either the cut shot or the line shot, and he hits it deep into the corner, and you freeze.
It freezes.
Yeah.
Your feet. You're going one way, and there's just no way you can change direction. So many times it looks easier on television. Why can't the guy change directions? But you certainly get frozen out there. The cement around your feet. Oh, a big kill by Kent that time. Nobody up, and he'll just pound away.
Once again, you cannot back up on Kent unless he is shooting the ball, and he hasn't really shot the ball. He goes up and just pounds that ball. Nobody up. You can't give players of this caliber an open net.
Down 3-4, Steffes the jumper. Kent will be up again now. Now he backs off. Steffes is there. That's a good set by Karch.
Great hit by Kent. He was way off the net, tired from groveling back there, and he was able to hit it cross court to the line, and they couldn't pick it up. Great up. Karch puts it just high up in the air so Kent has time to get to it, and he just hits it cross court.
One thing you've got to guard against is hitting it over. Like Karch, it's just anywhere where you can play it. It's a good play at that point so your partner can get back. 4 up. Oh, look out. Self-defense that time, Kent Steffes. Off the big pound.
It didn't look like Kent was ready to play defense right there. He just turned his head away. I guess it was coming pretty fast, though. Eric is a very powerful hitter, too.
Roger Clark was saying that during the semifinals. I was asking him about the hardest hitters. He goes, I'll tell you what, Wurts out there can pound with the best of them. So can Karch. Larry was in pretty good position, but that one was coming a little bit too high.
When you're backing off the net and the guy has a free swing, it's going to be very, very difficult to dig that ball. And that was a good set. Don't back off the net unless you have a bad set in front of you.
St. John Smith's rule number 1. We'll keep them marked down. There, good turn that time. Around the block, Karch was deep. Nobody was home.
Kent was actually reaching into the angle, but Eric just hit it too sharp for him.
The clock, which is definitely not a factor at this juncture, it's 5:47, but we'll keep you abreast of it. 4-4 the game score, and it's very pleasant conditions right now for these guys to play in with this cloud cover. A little cool.
That's a bad break for Eric.
And that will go to Steffes and Karai on the point.
Yeah, Larry was in the right position to dig the ball, and Eric just got himself caught in the net.
Right, might have mentioned 5-4 a moment ago, but 4-4 tie game. That time going for the ace, Eric Wurts, and that one is going to go wide, driven wide. And it'll be side out now. If you're just joining us, it's Karch Karai and Kent Steffes going up against Eric Wurts and Larry Mear in our final. And we don't want to mention it too many times, but of course the historic streak's still going on. And they're trying to make it 12. Karai and Steffes. Good dig by Karch. Can't get there. No, as it was near the pole. That would have been life-threatening if he had gone for it.
Yeah, that was a nice hard hit by Larry. Karch couldn't control it. It's a nice dig, overhand dig, which is not an easy thing to do, but you just couldn't control it.
I'm Bill McDonald. That is the voice of St. John Smith, who's alongside, gracious enough to come up after his semifinal tangle with Mear and Wurts. And Roger Clark is still with us. We didn't put him out to sea. He's courtside, and we'll be hearing from him shortly. Oh! Up, down, Karch Karai.
Once again, they gave him an open net. Can't do that. Cannot do that. These guys are not shooting the ball, Kent and Karch. They're hitting every ball. Straight down.
A lot of free swings, and right now we're just cruising along, waiting for one team to take control of this one. That's the shot that we've seen quite a bit from Larry Mear. He cuts it very well.
I can't see Larry looking at the defense. He must have a third eye somewhere. I'll tell you. He doesn't appear to be looking, but he's been hitting it where they aren't every single time.
Larry plays against Karch during the week down in San Clemente, so they have seen each other many times. Oh! As a spectator, you got to love that. Tight set, able for Karch to just put it straight down and leave that dent in the sand.
Larry saw what Karch was doing. He thought he was going from the angle. He really reached out with that one arm when he saw it, but he couldn't get it out far enough. Karch just pounds it inside of him.
Because Karch hits so high, do you have to change your block at all against him than anybody else?
Well, for Kent and Karch, you have to make a decision. You have to block one way or the other. You can't think that you can jump up in the air, read him, and then reach at that point. You have to really make a decision. Take a step over so that you're way into the angle or you seal off the line.
In other words, if you're going to hit the home run, you got to guess right on the pitch when it goes against those two guys. We are still at 4-4. As we near the halfway mark on the clock, we are at Bradford Beach, Milwaukee. As the tour comes home, in a sense, the home of Miller Lite. And that one, Karch Kirai sends it into the deep corner. As mentioned again, we will be in Cleveland next week, and then the tour goes back to Southern California. Our coverage on Prime Network will end in Cleveland, but that's not it for the tour. Seal Beach will still be on the agenda. The U.S. Championships in Hermosa towards the end of August, one of the premier events, and then down the line, the King of the Beach. That one hits the back of the line. How about that King of the Beach? Did you enjoy it last year?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to play because my wrist was so bad, and I decided a few days before that I would.
Do you like the format, though?
I think it's pretty fun. It was all right, I guess. I would have liked to have done.
You like to have been there, yeah.
That just looked like a tired serve by Eric. The last serve he served, he really hit it hard. That one, he just, he took something off, and maybe he's just going for the line.
And you were questioning that a few serves ago also. So seeing that a couple of times, maybe the fatigue is setting in a bit with Wurts. Keep a close eye on him. Here is Karch. That's a good pass. Chance for a point right here to get off 4-4, and we do. So finally, we're off 4-4.
Now that time, Karch made a guess early, and he was standing there for the shot. Eric, I don't know, he didn't see Karch make the move, and Karch, to end the play, just hits it off Eric's hand.
5 serving 4. There's one of the most recognizable faces in all of world volleyball, Karch Kirai. He's probably happy he's not in Barcelona. He'd have a bald head. Big block that time by Kent Steffes. And we will take a break. It is 6-4. The current champion lead by 2. This is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And that is Kent Steffes. And we were just talking about him. 16 kills so far. 3 digs. Good numbers. And Larry Mear bangs one off with the hands of Kent Steffes for the side out. Larry Mear.
Yeah, Larry just powered it through Steffes that time. He just reached high and hammered it through the hands.
8-4. Kirai and Steffes honing in on the championship. Steffes, that's a good hit down the line.
Yeah, Eric made the guess to the angle again, and Larry came over to the line for the shot. But Kent just chopped it short.
And we will be giving away $500. Actually, Killer Loop sunglasses by Bausch & Lomb will be giving away $500 to the player with the most kills in our final. Our Killer Loop Kill Award. So we're keeping tabs of that. And that's good for a point. So it is 9-4, and Kirai and Steffes start to get a little room between themselves and Wurts and Mear.
The pass goes way up, too close to the net. All Eric can do is just poke it, and Karch is right there for him.
I was talking to Roger before he went down into the sand. And I said, what do you think about this final? He thought it would be close, about 3-4 points all tied up, and then Karch and Kent would pull away, and that's exactly what's happening right now. But a side out to Wurts and Mear.
Yeah, Eric and Larry have to score a point to get their confidence back. It just looks like they're going through the motions right now. They aren't doing anything spectacular.
Yeah, something's got to happen to get their interest back in this and say, hey, we can come back. 9-4, our championship. And the clock has reached under 4 minutes. Tough little pass that time by Kent. That's off the net, but he hits it, and that one might make the Lake. And again, they backed off the net. So a lot of free hits. That time because the set was a little bit off.
Yeah, well, that set did go backwards just a little bit, but still, I mean, Kent can get up as high as anybody and hit that ball. He had an open net, and he hit it.
Arch checking out the scene, making sure everything is copacetic, ready to go. Low set, big hit. Up, down.
I'll tell you, Eric doesn't hold back. He picks a direction, and he just hammers that ball.
Fun to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just load it up and fire. 9-4. Larry Mear down by 5 here in the final. Steffes, nobody even close to that one as Larry gets long. And it will be a side out again. So in workmanlike fashion, and it's been that way many times if you've been following the tour all summer long on Prime Network, now reaching 3 months that this streak is alive. And except for a couple of times, notably against Smith and Stoklos, it's been kind of a walk in championship games for Karai and Steffes.
You can't call it a walk. There's just no way.
Walk in the sense that it hasn't gone down to the end or down to the wire. They've had some cushions at the end. Obviously, you have to work to get those points.
Right.
But they haven't been pushed to the end. I'm just stating my case.
You get out there and play.
All right. I'm still waiting for Matt Gage and I for our rematch with Marlowe and Peter Horton. Nobody! That's using the equipment.
Well,
point well taken. Point well taken.
But the breaks are going their way. Everything is happening in their favor right now, and when that happens, they're really tough to beat.
It's funny. Eric Boyles was saying earlier that if they had lost one of those games that went to overtime, the heavens would have opened and the tournament probably would have been rained out. That's the luck that they were having.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just riding me to no end, St. John. There's the ball, and it's in.
That's that deep shot, that deep in the corner.
9-4. 3:24 and 1/10.
You should get out there, Billy, and play for about 6 or 8 hours.
You're not going to let me out of that one. Find me a partner. Find me a partner. That's right. You're up here doing a decent job. So we'll see what I can do down there. There is Cart turning and putting it down.
Yeah, that was really sharp. I don't know if anyone could have blocked that one. He really turned it. Landed on about the 3-foot line. You'd have to be camping out there to pick that one up.
Setting up a bivouac. That one's going to fly long, catching a jet stream.
Now, I don't understand that. Kent and Karch are playing great right now. They should have a lot of confidence, and he went and hit a serve half speed. I mean, he should be bombing these serves, getting out of this game.
With a cushion at 9-4. The wind is very still right now. On the bumper, nobody up again, and Karch's eyes as big as the moon. See ya.
Open net, good set. Forget it. See you later. You know, that wasn't even a bad pass. Wide open net. Forget it.
Karch hitting a few for the highlight film. Wurts at the tight set, but somehow he gets it past Kent Steffes. So that was a nice power move by Eric Wurts to put it down the line. And it is 4-9.
He hit his favorite shot this game, the bomb down the line.
That's our side-out streak. 13. Will it be lucky or unlucky right here for one of these teams? And it's now at 14, so a couple of touchdowns on this side-out streak.
Now, it looked like Eric jumped into the angle to block the angle hit, and Larry just stood on the angle. Now, Kent has not shot any balls to the angle. Seems to me that Larry should make the move. Come to the line and dig the shot. Let Eric block the angle if he wants to.
Karch is up blocking this time, and Kent can only stare at that little cut shot.
I don't know how Larry got that by Karch, because that set was nearly right on the net. I mean, Karch could literally just reach over and stop the ball as Larry hit it, but Larry got it by him.
The side-out streak continues. The crowd is anxious for some action. A point. Up, down, and that one was close, too. So a little acrobatic hit that time by Karch Kirai. Had to make something out of that set that was really close.
Yeah, Larry tried to reach out with one arm and get that, but Karch snuck it by right on the line, it looked like.
Kent checking out the real estate. And there's a good look at the rocket squirrel.
Everybody's ready but Larry. I think Larry's just biding his time, catching a breath of fresh air.
Breath. There's a lot of ways to do it without calling the timeout. That one's into the net.
I don't know. That shouldn't be happening. You know, they're on a good side for serving. They should be hitting tough serves.
Now Larry Mear will serve. This crowd's getting a little antsy, aren't they?
Yeah, they want something to happen.
They want something to happen. They're starting to cat call. There's Karch. Something is happening. Oh. Yeah. There's a point for you.
Eric finally reached in, blocked Karch. It looked like Karch's angle. No, he hit it down the line. He reached out, blocked it. Couldn't quite get to it, so he opened his hands up, and he was called for a lift.
So, folks, your patience has been rewarded. It's 9-5. And could we be starting a new side-out streak? That one's down. Great shot, of course, by Kent. Smart play.
Same thing. He just popped it over the line. Let's see if they can get their serves on track.
You've been saying that shouldn't be happening, the service errors. That one pretty easy to handle, however, by Mear. Kent's going to get there? No.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. It is 9-5 in our final. Kirai and Steffes. Second and bopping to the music that the AVP provides. And then if you need a little bit of a nap courtside, that's not a bad place to be. Somebody's drinking the beer. Somebody's got a hold of the big Miller Lite. Don't want to see them a little later on. There's our scoreboard. Kirai and Steffes over Mear and Wurts. Bill McDonald, St. John Smith alongside Roger Clark, courtside. Bringing it all to you, coast to coast. Unforced errors, you saw that is, of course, part of the story. Kent Steffes gets set to serve as the crowd settles back in. We hope you are too.
They could taste victory now, Kent and Karch, and they might turn up the steam.
They could do it on this side. It is 10-5. Steffes to serve. Back to Larry Mear, really getting a workout here today. Chance for 11, right there. Karch, 11-5. Obviously, you sense it a bit right now that they're going to say, let's get this thing done.
Yeah, I think that they've been out there long enough.
But then again, the way you say it, it's almost like they can turn it on and off like a faucet, which is definitely not that easy. And that one's going to go out. So that's two quick ones in a row. So the wolf smelling the prey. 12-5. Maybe you're right, old soothsayer.
Yep, Eric and Larry just called a timeout.
Timeout called, as St. mentioned, and we will be back at 12-5 as they hone in on the time. Beach will be there. Hobbs, Steffes, Dodd, and Luty. Hobb, a big name. I can't believe it. 714-975-8400. This is to benefit cerebral palsy. The night before, on the 12th, they will be holding an auction to be able to play against those players and with those players. 8 spots will be available, so make it on down to Irvine, the sports club, and you might be able to play with the pros.
There you go. They want to finish this game. Karch reached into the angle, and Eric tried to pound the angle, and Karch was there. So look at that. He took a step over and reached into it. So
almost as though he was moving in midair, he was floating over that, the block.
13-5, so 3 quick ones in a row. Big lead. Kirai Steffes. That one's going deep. Kent's got it. Great dig. Up on top. Yes! Oh, what a play!
It's a great set by Karch, putting it right on top of the net. All Kent had to do was poke it deep into the court. With that poke deep into the court, anywhere in the court, I think that would have gone down. Larry was really short for the dink.
Those plays win you titles. And we're going to take a break. Here at Bradford Beach, Bill McDonald, Sinjin Smith, Roger Clark. This is championship point. And there it is. The title on an ace. Kent Steffes. And I'll tell you what, Sinjin, you called it when they took the turn. You said, I think it might be over. It was over quicker than any of us thought.
Yeah, they wanted to finish that game. I could see that they wanted to get out of the game, and they really turned it on right at the end. Not only that, but I think Eric and Larry were feeling the 3 games before. I think it did take its toll, and they just didn't have enough.
Kirai and Steffes take it to the next level, and they take it all the way to a championship. 12 wins in a row, 15-5. We'll talk to them in a moment.